he had a secret that transformed him, as a historian, from an intellectual observer into an eyewitness. It was also a secret in which temporal and spatial barriers fall and psychic distance is annihilated. But how had he managed to achieve this? What had led him to experiences that dismantled time and space? When he was a student at Winchester College, Arnold Toynbee aspired to write a universal history of the world, offering a synoptic commentary on human affairs. He understood that such an undertaking demanded immense personal sacrifice, far beyond ordinary imagination, such as the deaths of his Oxford friends in World War I, while he himself remained in his upholstered study chair, excusing his absence from the front by citing physical unfitness that, as he put it, exempted me from being killed in the First World War. The photograph of his friend A.D. Gillespie, killed in the Great War, remained on the mantelpiece in his study until the end of his life. In 1920, while traveling by train from Turkey through western Bulgaria, he jotted down chapters and headlines for his 12-volume study of history. Through the window, he glimpsed Bulgarian peasants wearing fox-skin caps, evocative of Herodotus's descriptions of Xerxes' troops. Such views must have served as catalysts for his determination. Toynbee remained throughout his life convinced of Hesiod's maxim that achievement must be sweated for. He was as productive as a demigod, blending erudition, vivid imagination, and meditative literary prowess in his studies. Yet, like any demigod prone to error, his work, after his death, came to be regarded as a scientific curiosity, no less peculiar than a glass eye or an embryo in a jar. Still, Toynbee peered through time like that glass eye, scraping against the walls of the jar, an allegory of his own inner world, and revealed another extraordinary skill, one natural only to an Olympian god, or a figure specially chosen by history: time traveling. Not many readers have encountered Volume 10, Section 13 of Toynbee's Study of History, where he reveals that he has become a time traveler, carried down in a time pocket, and experiencing the local annihilation of time. And this was not a metaphor. In 1911-12, Toynbee traveled to Greece as part of his grand tour of Italy and Greece, studying at the British Archaeological School in Athens. One of the keenest intellectual pleasures in life for me has been the thrill of recognition when I've set eyes, for the first time, on Greece. This was his Annus Mirabilis, the miraculous year in which he truly perceived the landscape of the Greco-Roman world. He was dazzled by the Attic light, by stepping onto Salamis, by imagining Euclid, and the sculptor Theokosmos in Megara. It was an entrancing spectacle, and he drank in the view as if savoring wine from an ancient rutan. We can speculate that his descents into time pockets are triggered by periods of stress. In the year leading up to and during the Grand Tour, Arnold's worries about his father became a recurring part of his everyday psychological milieu. In the letters exchanged between Toynbee and his mother, Sarah Edith Marshall, a Cambridge history alumna and his earliest inspiration in historical studies, they discuss his father's fragile condition, a nervous collapse, Leave your final views about your life and my father's to God, Toynbee urges his mother, who is as loyal to him as the goddess Aphrodite, bolstering her son and demigod Aeneas in the Trojan War. But unfortunately, Arnold's father will not find a reciprocal Olympian guardian. Harry Valpy Toynbee will, in the end, find himself institutionalized. On January 10th, 1912, Arnold likely felt deeply unsettled by this family truth as he walked across the ancient battlefield of Cynos Cefalae, near the Greek city of Larissa. A heavy, mud-thick fog pressed in around him, stirring unease. Then raindrops fell onto the dusty ground. He felt himself slip into a time pocket, a moment when history rose before him as a living spectacle. Flamininus's legions emerging from the gloom to meet the phalanxes of Philip V, the king fighting for nothing less than dominance over the Greek world. Toynbee finds himself at the decisive instant when the Macedonian phalanx charges downhill, exposing its right flank. The Roman left surges forward in a sudden counterblow, outflanking the phalanx and tearing into its ranks. And now, it is no battle. It is a massacre, Toynbee wrote. By sunset, Rome stood victorious. Macedon's power was broken, and Greece was thrust into Rome's orbit. Toynbee envisions a fleeing horseman, the defeated Philip V. Before refocusing, it all vanishes abruptly into thin air, Toynbee admits, and the landscape flickers back into a pastoral present. After discovering what he called a way to transcend time, Arnold would experience visions repeatedly. As a young historian in Oxford in 1911, reading a passage from Titus Livius, he felt himself suddenly transported across the gulf of time and space to Teanum in 80 BC, to the gates of Bastia's house, wife of the exiled Samnite commander Mutilus, caught in the tragedy of Rome's civil war. Toynbee witnessed a scene as harrowing as Polyphemus tearing apart the comrades of Odysseus. Mutilus, prescribed by Sulla and therefore marked for death, arriving at the back door of his wife's home. Right before Arnold's eyes, Mutilus pounds on his wife's door in the darkness, only to be denied entry. Realizing he has no refuge, Mutilus draws his sword, as so many of Sulla's enemies had before him, and kills himself, staining his wife's threshold with his blood. Who will cleanse this blood? Bastia, a servant, or time itself? Toynbee would carry its trace beneath his fingernails. That ever-warm blood would fill the cup of his fatherhood when 28 years later, he found himself in a hospital transfusing blood into his son Anthony, who had shot himself, most likely by accident, while examining a revolver in his flat. Anthony does not have long. Toynbee kisses his son's forehead, his heart in turmoil, like the ground trembling beneath Philip V's fleeing horse, its hooves striking through puddles darkened with the blood of fallen warriors. And in the looming silence, Toynbee hears only the silver scissors of the Moirae, now squeaking like ship mice, gnawing at ropes or chewing through leather water flasks, drop by drop, like time.